Hey guys, how's it going? So unfortunately on our last trip down to Baltimore, we got a rock chip in the window. So for size reference, it's about the size of my thumbnail. I have regular size hands. And we were looking into the options of what we could do. Obviously, first option is to get the whole windshield replaced. And I was kind of against that simply because the chip wasn't that big. It's a bullseye chip, and I really didn't want to replace the whole windshield because further down the line it increases the risk for things like water leaks. I've actually had quite a lot of success with using windshield repair kits in the past, like on my BMW Z4. I had a really large rock chip on this, and now it's virtually impossible to see unless you look really closely for it. So today I'm gonna be using this windshield repair kit. It's from Blue Star. I've never used this brand before, but essentially all the kits contain the same stuff inside of them. What I'm gonna show you guys is the process of repairing this chip in the window. So first thing you actually want to do is make sure that your car is out of the sunlight, because for the first part of this repair you don't want your car in the sunlight, or else the resin will actually heat up and it'll actually dry too quickly. So let's move the car into the garage. So there's a bunch of stuff in my garage right now, so I'm not able to fully get it out of the sunlight. And it's actually a cloudy day, which actually doesn't affect the UVA and UVB rays that the resin uses to dry up. But either way, it should be fine for later when I put the car back out, in terms of making sure the resin hardens. So if we open up this kit here, you'll find a syringe, you'll find this piece of tape which basically covers over the chip, and you'll find some resin, as well as a razor blade. So essentially how this chip looks, like, it looks really large, right? But this chip was created due to one pebble that hit in the dead center of this bullseye, and the crack kind of radiates out. So all around the outer edge right here, the crack is actually in the windshield and it's not on top of it, whereas the only part that is actually on top of it is right in the center. So what you're essentially doing is you're filling in the resin so that it seeps into all those cracks, and essentially will get rid of all the cracks that are on the outer edge, as well as most of it that will be in the center where it took a big chunk of the windshield out. So the first thing that you do is you want to clean the damaged area. So you can kind of see how there's little, I don't know if you can actually see it, but you can actually feel and see in person these little bits of glass and rock from the rock being stuck inside the windshield, just slowly coming out. And what we'll do later is we'll wipe it down. So I'm just cleaning this down right now with a paper towel and a little bit of water and just a touch of soap. The first part is you put the seal onto the windshield, and the second part is that you put the pedestal, this is called a pedestal, onto it. So first thing is to put the seal onto the windshield. And you got to make sure this is very tight, because this is a very high pressure system, or it will be a very high pressure system. So you want to push it down so you get a very good seal all the way around. If you don't get a good seal, the resin will actually flow out from the pedestal, and obviously if it's flowing out and it's not actually getting into the crack. Okay, next thing you want to do is remove the backing from the seal. Then you want to mount the pedestal, and you want to make sure that the pedestal is as vertical as possible. So don't like put it this way where it's going to be facing, you know, a little horizontally. You want to mount it in a way that will allow it to stay as vertical as possible. Push that down as tightly, ensuring a tight bond. Okay, next thing you want to do is place the resin into the pedestal. You want to make sure that when you're releasing the resin, you do it as slowly as possible so that there's no air bubbles in it as it travels down. So now what you want to do is you want to put the syringe in the lowered position over the pedestal, locking it in. And then the next thing that you want to do is you want to lock the plunger into the vacuum position. And there's a couple of locks here that you can see, which will actually keep to position correct. So essentially what you're doing now is you're pulling air up through the pedestal. You want to let this sit for a few minutes. Okay, so in this next step what we're going to do is we're going to change the plunger from a negative pressure into high pressure, and what that's going to do is push the resin that's already in the lowest position down even more into the cracks. So first what you do is you pull off this safety pin. Not all plungers come with this, and what you're going to do is lower this plunger into the high pressure position. It's not even that high pressure, it's just a little bit, but what that does is it continues to push the resin down into the crack. And you want to let this sit for another 20 minutes. Alright, public service announcement. If you guys have a bullseye chip in your Volkswagen Golf R, or I guess Golf or GTI, whatever it may be, realize that the glass is actually really soft, and don't think these windshield repair kits will work well for it. They actually, I think, I'd have to look back on the footage, but I think it actually made the crack a little bit worse because of the pressure that it was putting on it in order to get the resin in. It was actually making the crack a little bit larger. Word of advice, if you guys have these kinds of cracks in your windshield, maybe get it professionally repaired or get your entire windshield replaced, even though you might run the risks of having water leakage later on. Of course, with any new car, most of the time people are getting comprehensive coverage, so depending on your deductible, it might not be too expensive of an option to actually get your entire windshield replaced. Just make sure that you do it at a place that is reputable so that there will be no issues of having water leaking into your car a couple years down the line. So this is Ed from me. Thanks for watching. If you guys like my videos, please subscribe and share them with your friends. I'll see you guys next time.